Rick talked about at A&M being frustrated by feeling like the players kind of deviated from the plan when A&M hit those shots to start. Just how encouraging was it to see y'all stick to it in kind of a similar situation in Arkansas?
Yeah, A&M, you're right. Our plan was to, make it difficult to get to the rim, do those type of things where we're effective making them play outside in instead of inside out. I thought Coach Gainey, our players, it's always the players, man. I mean, they get the credit for having the focus, the level of concentration, and I thought sticking with what we wanted to do based on the fact that they hit some threes early, which is not the strength of the team overall. It's transition, getting to the free throw line, getting downhill. So I thought it was really impressive that our guys from a maturity standpoint went out there and executed in a really professional manner and got it done.
Coach Barnes always preaches about consistency, and obviously Jonas Hayden is still trying to find that, but what does consistency look like for someone who's a post like Jonas?
Well, I'm not supposed to do any advertisements, but I'd say like the Waffle House. When you go into the Waffle House, you know what you're getting every time, don't you? All right. I used to say that to my daughters, but it didn't resonate. So I think just the fact, can you be trusted? Can the coach count on you? And can your teammates count on you? Via illustration being like, if we're in a rotation and we're asking our big to rotate over, does the guy on the backside really come down, smash down, get to the block, take away his man from the play? So if that post guy doesn't feel like he's going to get that support on the backside, I think that's what we're looking for. The best things, the best teams at any level play with a high level of consistency. And I think that's what Coach is talking about, a level of trust amongst teammates that I got your back, you got mine.
How key is Jonas to being able to have a game like Arkansas where you make 5 3-pointers and score 92? How big of a piece of the puzzle is he for that?
It's gigantic. I mean, I can't remember exactly, what did we get in the paint, 48 points or is that it? So I think when you're not making threes, and coaches talked about this too all year, that we have to have a balanced attack. We have to be able to get the basketball inside, right? And be effective, be efficient. Via that comes driving the ball, our post guys, but we have quality post guys here. Tobey, JP, Cade, obviously Jonas. And I think now the step for Jonas is, can you do it against the bigger and more physical guys in the league? He has proven that he can be really effective, and he's been a factor in a lot of games and does a lot of things for us defensively as well, right? At the rim, he's a lot to handle, But when we get play from our inside guys, we're impactful.
Is being more physical part of the Waffle House analogy for Jonas? You needed to hands?
I only get the eggs and a waffle, but when you get that, is it the All-Star breakfast?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's really coming at it. So when we can get that kind of effort, build walls, eat a lot, it's good. Healthy appetite.
Coach, when you had the scout, what's the challenge or the dynamic when you just seen the team 2 weeks ago?
I think getting your guys to lock back in, to get them to understand that there are some changes. I mean, Vanderbilt is playing better. They led South Carolina at the half. If South Carolina doesn't have a few guys step up and make some key threes in that game, Vanderbilt's there the whole way. Coach will say this, Coach Stackhouse probably runs as good an offense as anybody in this league at the high end. They're going to tweak what they do. They're not going to show you the same thing. They're able to make some changes that are difficult to deal with. You know this from being here. They're always going to play us very tough. They're very capable. I think Texas A&M, is a testament more to Vanderbilt, right? Having won whatever they've won coming into that game and going out and playing a team that just took care of us pretty good, and then Vanderbilt going and beating them on their home court, on Vandy's home court.
Sorry. How pleased were you guys with what Dalton did defensively at Arkansas, just maybe being more active in passing lanes and everything than he usually is?
Yeah, I think, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. And I think there was progress made in that game from Dalton. And, Coach Gainey one time had him on their top scorer, Mac, number 12, and wanted his length. And sure enough, Dalton blocked a shot. Great move, great matchup, but at the same time, that's Dalton. Like, give him credit for kind of upping his game, if you will, at the defensive end of the floor, and we still know there's a lot more to go in a good way, so Dalton can keep getting better there.
What's the season been like for Tobey to this point? Obviously, there was a lot of momentum
momentum probably for him through the summer, the way he played for Team USA, and it's been a little bit up and down during the season. What's it been like kind of coaching him and getting him through this season?
Well, number one, if you know Tobey, he's one of those guys that, he can marry my daughter. Like, he's an outstanding, high character. There's character off the court. He's got that. And then there's basketball character. They're two different things, right? I learned that during my little tenure in the NBA, right? There's basketball character. And I think Tobey's got both. So you count on that with him. His work ethic, his preparation. He's still, coach says this, he's still young to the game. He's still learning all the time. I think there's, at times, where Tobey probably feels like any player should. He's hungrier for more minutes. So like coming off the summer, like you said, he had a double-double, was terrific on USA Basketball. But a little different, right? What's expected here. And then the emergence of Jonas. But I think Tobey has managed it well. I think he'd like to play more. And obviously you want anybody on your team not being comfortable with sitting, right? You want them to want more minutes. I think he's managed it well. I heard this stat the other day. You guys correct me, Alex. If he had played enough minutes, he'd be the number one, which I thought at the beginning of the year, number two, offensive rebounder in the country. So what he brings to the table, I think if you're the other coach and you look down there and you see him checking into the game, there's really not much preparation for Tobey. Like, you could tell your guys to block him out, to hit him, to drive him out. Good luck.
This is a bit of an off-the-court kind of question, but tomorrow you'll be raising awareness for organ donations in that game. What does that mean for this team to be able to support that mission?
It's awesome. You know how Coach Barnes is, and anything that we can do that helps others and thinking about other people. I myself am one. I don't know at my age if anybody would want my organs, but it's something, it's a gift of life. It's something that we're all capable of doing via anything medically that would prohibit that. So I think it's very important to us as a team. I think our guys recognize what it means, and I know our coaching staff and the University of Tennessee understands it.
Coach, how big of a boost is it when you can, when Jordan is hitting shots and you can, go to your bench and throw somebody in the game like that change, that gives you a spark offensively?
It's huge. I mean, Coach calls them lightning bolts, I think that's a great word for it. He comes down, even the first ball he shot from the corner after he'd made a couple of tough shots going in, mid-range. I thought it was down. It looked great. He's just been playing with a lot of confidence, and I love how he responded, He's another guy with a quiet mental toughness to him. He didn't shoot it particularly well at A&M. Didn't phase him. I think 3 out of the last 4 games maybe. He's been really effective. And even when he's on the court, there's a gravity score. Who knows what that means? Raise the hands. Raise the recorders. All right. Gravity score is how close do I play to Rob? How good a shooter is he when he's in the game? Because if I have to, terrible shooter. So I can really get off and help in my gap. But if a guy can really shoot it like Jordan, what he does is he opens up gaps for other guys. He opens up the game for Zakai, for Dalton, for Santi, Freddie, whoever it might be. So just the fact that he's a threat makes him valuable. Does that make sense?
Great lesson.
I got more if you want them.
For a guy like Tobey, you talked about it a little bit, but how hard is it to embrace kind of that backup center role and when you do want those more minutes, and how much do you have to help Jonas in the process too when you're in that backup role?
Yeah, I think Jonas went through it. If you guys, pretty much for a while here, right? And so I think he does. I think the great thing about us is we do have a high character bunch of guys that really care about each other. They know this is a team sport. It's no offense with bowling or anything, but if you want to do an individual sport, it's a great sport, right? I guess there's team bowling. I don't know. But the point being, those guys help each other, and they've all been in that role. I think empathy and true leadership comes from when you've been in a role and you know how that felt, and now you can relay that to somebody else, whether it's in the working business, in your profession, or on the court. Guys that have come off the bench that had to do it the hard way, and I'd say Jonas did that, I think that's a big help to Tobey.
Anything else? All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, GP.
I'm exhausted.
Is that the drive?